Does Royal Caribbean want to start charging for pizza? And how would you solve the Diamond Lounge crowd problems? Today, we've got a rundown of the big Royal Caribbean news up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Every so often, it makes sense to dive into some Royal Caribbean news to share with all of you. And we've got a nice smattering of it this week, starting with pizza. Yeah, evidently, there's a survey that's been sent to some people asking them if Royal Caribbean were to start charging for Sorrento's pizza, would you be okay with it? And would that kind of a decision change your mind about booking a Royal Caribbean cruise? As you might imagine, and I think you're probably thinking about it right now, that invokes a lot of emotions because a lot of people have some really strong questions about this. As first reported by RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, the survey was sent to people who took a cruise, and the question was exactly, if Sorrento's pizza was offered for a fee, would you still dine there? So pizza, of course, is one of the included foods on a Royal Caribbean cruise that has no additional cost today. Not only is it popular with a lot of cruisers because it's just synonymous with going on a Royal Caribbean cruise, but it's one of the few, if only, available late night snack options once the Windjammer closes that cost nothing extra. The survey also asks, if charging for Sorrento's went from complimentary to an extra cost, would that stop you from cruising with Royal Caribbean? Now, to be clear, these questions are purely survey questions. Nothing has actually changed in policy. So this is merely testing the waters by the cruise line. Now, some people assume that once there's a survey question out there, that means that somebody in Royal Caribbean is thinking about it. And whether or not you believe that's indicative of what's to come or perhaps just a passing thought, but if there's enough negativity that comes out of it, they're not going to make that change. I really don't know what to think about it, quite frankly. That's up to you. But this survey is out there. And in addition to the pizza questions, Royal Caribbean also asked questions about new specialty dining restaurants. Specifically, they were curious if Royal Caribbean guests were interested in seeing a Greek, Cajun, Peruvian, British, Caribbean, New England-style surf and turf, or sushi restaurants on board a cruise ship, and they also wanted to know about some new activities on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Royal Caribbean has always been known for its crazy, over-the-top activities that you can do on a cruise ship. Flow rider, skydiving simulator, bumper cars, they've got all those things, but they wanted to know what are some new things they could possibly add to a cruise ship. The options were axe throwing, planetarium, laser tag, roller coaster, pickleball courts, obstacle courses, go-karts, and even an indoor playground. So how seriously should we take these surveys? No one really knows, quite frankly. Historically, Royal Caribbean has used surveys to test out all sorts of ideas, many of which never see the light of day as a change. On the other hand, sometimes surveys are indeed precursors to a change coming forward. As an example, in November of 2022, Royal Caribbean used surveys extensively that led up to the main dining room menu change in 2023. So it's really impossible to know what the future holds. My advice is don't get too overworked about it right now. The cruise industry, of course, is always evolving, but at this point, I really think the survey should be used as food for thought when it comes to just keeping an eye on what they're possibly thinking about, rather than any kind of confirmation of a policy change going forward. Speaking of cruiser feedback, Royal Caribbean also wanted to know what cruisers thought about a different issue, and that's the Diamond Lounge. So one of the most popular benefits of being in the Crown and Anchor Society is when you reach the Diamond status. And one of the issues that was brought up by Royal Caribbean International President and CEO Michael Bailey was the potential issue of overcrowding the Diamond Lounge. Mr. Bailey posted on Facebook asking for ideas on how to solve a perceived issue with overcrowding the Diamond Lounge. Specifically, Mr. Bailey mentioned the fact that top tiers have grown by 30% last year alone, and capacity limitations are a tough issue to crack. So he wanted to get some ideas from people on Facebook, and with anything related to benefits of cruisers, especially Diamond members, there were a lot of different ideas that were out there. In fact, there were hundreds, if not thousands of responses on the post by now, and the issue of overcrowding in the Diamond Lounge has been there for a while. But of course, Royal Caribbean has taken steps to try to mitigate that. Primarily, they started offering, since the cruising restart of 2021, drink vouchers that allowed you to get a certain amount of drinks anywhere on the ship without having to go to the Diamond Lounge at all. And quite frankly, I actually prefer this. I was never a big fan of the Diamond Lounge to begin with as a place to be like, hey, I want to go hang out there, because I prefer to go somewhere else and have entertainment in one of those venues, or simply hang out with my friends. Regardless of that fact, there is the issue of what to do with it, and it sounds like Royal Caribbean is at least thinking about this. Of course, the timing of this question comes immediately after the Royal Caribbean President's Cruise, which just occurred on Allure of the Seas, and perhaps Mr. Bailey got an earful from certain people on board that ship. Who knows? But anyway, Royal Caribbean is thinking about this, and it's worth noting that nobody knows what they'll end up changing about it. I'm not even sure what I would do. Quite frankly, I don't think they're going to add more dedicated space. They're not going to take away from more public venues to make it a larger Diamond Lounge in general. Not to mention, I don't even know how they would do that on really small ships, let alone the Oasis class. I really don't think they're going to be adding another tier to the Crown and Anchor Society because they already have the most tiers of any cruise lines out there, and it's complicated enough as it is. And most importantly, I'm not sure they'll take it away as a benefit, as in remove the Diamond Lounge completely and force people to go completely somewhere else. I just think that's not a great look for them either, so I don't think that's a direction they want to go in. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, quite frankly, but it is a problem that clearly Royal Caribbean is thinking about. Let's move over to Icon of the Seas. We have a brand new construction photo update to share with all of you. One of our very good friends, Becky Menken from MEI Travel, was able to tour Icon of the Seas at the shipyard in Turku, Finland. Icon of the Seas is still many months away from her launch. She'll begin service in January of 2024, but Becky was able to take a hard hat tour of the ship, similar to the hard hat tour that I did in May. But in this case, the ship is far more along than I got to see when I went there in May. If you've seen our other video where we took a walkthrough tour of Icon of the Seas, you're going to notice a lot more things are completed, or at least closer to completion. Let's start with Thrill Island, which of course is one of the new neighborhoods at Icon of the Seas. And Thrill Island is going to be home to the new Category 6 water park. Off the bat, there's way more water slides, and the towers are going to be set up for this area. Icon of the Seas will introduce the first water park at sea with 6 different water slides that are really going to draw your attention within a mile of arriving to the ship because they're definitely front and center. Don't forget, of course, that in addition to the water slides, there's also mini golf, a rock climbing wall, and a brand new thrill walk known as Crown's Edge, which is a combination of ropes course, skywalk, and obstacle course. Guests are strapped in and walk 154 feet above the ocean for this experience, which lasts about 2.5 minutes. Royal Caribbean says they're describing it as pretty scary. Let's go down to the Royal Promenade and check this area out because Icon of the Seas is going to have a new look to its Royal Promenade. It's going to be 362 feet long, which means it's actually longer than a football field, and for the first time incorporates ocean views. As you walk onto the ship, you'll see a multi-deck high glass wall that provides natural light and a way to still see the beautiful ocean that surrounds the ship. You'll also find on the Royal Promenade Giovanni's Italian Kitchen and Wine Bar, as well as Dueling Pianos Bar, Sorrento's Pizzeria, English Pub, Spotlight Karaoke, Boleros, and the Schooner Bar. We've also got to look at some of the pools that are under construction on Icon of the Seas. Of course, Chill Island is where you're going to find the pools. Chill Island is the massive resort-style relaxation zone where you're going to be finding the largest pool at sea, an adults-only pool, and the first suspended infinity pool at sea. 5 of the 7 pools on Icon of the Seas are actually located in the Chill Island neighborhood. The idea behind Chill Island is to offer a place to kind of relax and just enjoy your time there. Whether you're sitting by the pool, heading to the swim up bar, or just simply reading a book, Chill Island is designed to make it easy to, quite frankly, take it easy. Next up on the tour is the Aqua Dome. This is a really must-see feature on board the ship because the Aqua Dome is where you're going to find a whole new neighborhood that has a lot to see on board. In fact, Royal Caribbean has a show that will feature aerialists, acrobatics, high divers, and the tallest waterfall at sea at 55 feet tall. There are going to be 2 shows you can see in the Aqua Theater, Aqua Nation and Pirates vs. Mermaids. You'll also find the overlook inside of the dome, which has 220-degree views from the pods that you can sit in and enjoy time with your friends. We also got our first look at the Surfside neighborhood from the ground level. And really, if there's one focus that Royal Caribbean has with Icon of the Seas, it's definitely offering more for families. Icon of the Seas will have an entire neighborhood dedicated to young families known as Surfside. It's located at the back of the ship in an open air space that might otherwise be similar that on an Oasis class ship being the Boardwalk neighborhood. Their Splashaway Bay and Baby Bay are the focal points of this new neighborhood, which has an aqua park and pool designed for families to enjoy together. Royal Caribbean added the Water's Edge pool, so that way adults can lounge in the pool too without being in the quote-unquote kiddie pool. It's located at the back of the ship, complete with pool lounge chairs and gorgeous views of the ocean. Becky also got a chance to check out some of the new cabins that are being built for Icon of the Seas. There are new categories of cabins on Icon, with over 50% of the room types new to the cruise line just on Icon of the Seas. The Ocean View Infinite Balcony allows you to expand your indoor living space, or invite the sea breeze in with a touch of a button. One new cabin category is the Family Infinite Balcony Room, which has in-room games, a split bathroom, and even a bunk area for kids that can be closed off with curtains for privacy. Plus, each bunk has its own TV. And then there's the epic suite that cannot be overlooked, the ultimate family townhouse. In fact, Becky got a chance to check this out as it was under construction. This is an epic 3-story stateroom that features its own backyard with a private entrance in a splashaway bay. By the way, if you're wondering how much the ultimate family townhouse goes for, well, it's been selling for $80,000 on average per week in 2024, and it's pretty much sold out for all of 2024, which is crazy. A real fan favorite neighborhood is making its return on Icon of the Seas, and that's going to be Central Park, where you can find lots of course living plants there, which is really cool. And when Central Park is complete, it's going to have a jazz club, walk-up champagne bar, and new restaurants as well. Bubbles is the new walk-up champagne bar, where you can get glasses of mimosa, prosecco, and Bellini, and bottles of champagne available throughout the day from this window. If you're looking for elevated dining, you're going to want to check out the new swanky supper club that's being called the Empire Supper Club. Empire Supper Club is meant to be reminiscent of the 1930s in New York City, and it has 2 seatings for guests to experience the extravagant 8-course menu. The menu will feature premium American cuisine and offer selections like caviar and Wagyu beef. Plus, each course will be paired with a beverage. Now, Icon is still many months away, but this is a good early look at what's coming to Icon of the Seas. And there's a look at some of the big Royal Caribbean news that I wanted to share with all of you on this week's video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about charging for pizza? What would you do with the Diamond Lounge? And are you excited and or booked on Icon of the Seas? Let me know in the comments below what you think about all these things. Also, while you're down below our video, if you haven't done it already, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. That way, you don't miss out on any of our videos. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.